WrestleMania is quickly upon us, but it's kind of strange that the product isn't really taking center stage. It's more or less just a bunch of disgruntled former employees trying to stick it to their former employers and sell some products in the meantime. We'll get to one here in the next couple of days, but the one that I want to focus on right now is the old man out there yelling at clouds in the form of CM Punk trying to take a dump on AEW. But bro, how can anybody take you seriously? Every promotion that you've ever worked for, you've been rode out on a rail. It's like, okay, cool. How many times can you take a look around, blame everybody else for your shortcomings, and not realize that, maybe you're the one who's the problem? I don't know. Everybody's been pointing this out for, I don't know. It's self-assessment time. God damn it, man. Like, people are actually fans of this miserable head case. Like, what are we doing here? No, this is definitely overshadowed WrestleMania week because it's the thing that everybody's talking about. It's not the product, which is hilarious. You take a look at the ratings and it's like, wow, you promote a big, special appearance by The Rock and Roman Reigns for Raw, and you can't even draw 2 million viewers. In fact, you end up getting beat by women's basketball and their pre-shows. Good product that you have right there, definitely. This is the Attitude Era comeback again, Triple H. For as much grandstanding as you want to do for your own product, I understand you need to be the biggest cheerleader for it, but just wait for everybody to realize that you can't book a babyface champion. I was there. I was watching NXT when he had the stick, and brother, you ain't ready for the amount of backlash that he's going to get when Cody does or does not end up winning at Mania. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, and you're going to find out real quickly that that product that you guys keep telling us is so goddamn hot eventually burns your hand. But that's another topic for another time. I want to discuss this miserable old bastard who can't stay healthy enough. Remember, he came back to wrestling in 2022 and he spent how much time out on the shelf and is currently still out of action, only coming back and cutting overlong promos with a bunch of other guys that, even though he has been retired for the better part of 10 years when he's not getting his ass kicked inside of the octagon, aren't even close to being on his level. You got boring, cringy ass Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, such a big star, they just, the Fed just booked their first big show in his home country, in Scotland. Clash at the Castle too. And you're telling me you got such a hot product you couldn't even book a stadium show? And you've got how many Scottish superstars? Good stuff that you have right there. Don't read between the lines. Wrestling's never been hotter. A big social media presence, television ratings notwithstanding. But CM Punk tells his side of what occurred at AEW All In 2023. Now, I've talked about this before. We covered it when it went down at the time, from what was going on behind the scenes and the bunch of people, saying what was going on there, including outside parties as well, chiming in all the way through the firing. In my opinion, hell, even on AEW has changed. I've checked out of the product after they decided to side with raging lefty Ian Riccaboni, slandering Kevin Kelly and, giving Kevin Kelly the boot. It's so absolutely ridiculous. But then when I see CM Punk come out and just complain for the sake of complaining, do his same old song and dance where everybody else is the problem, I gotta come to the aid of a company that I don't even like all that much anymore. Like, what are we doing out here? So Punk was talking with, another scumbag in journalism, Ariel Helwani. I don't know if you guys were watching UFC at the time, but Dana White personally kicked Ariel out of a press event, and he went on this whining, complaining, bitching tirade on Twitter. Oh, it was so hilarious. What a scumbag he is. But I guess Punk found himself in good company here, and he just decided to spew propaganda. And I understand, it's his side of the story. He just came out looking like a jackass. Because you have the backing of a big corporation and Triple H is incredibly goddamn petty, of course this is going to get a lot of traction. I'll link out to this article if you think that I'm missing any context. I'm just going to read the bold print, mostly because going through the interview bit by bit would make this like an hour and change long video, and I ain't got the stomach to stare at that old man for that long, so we'll just read the highlights, okay? There's nobody there to pick me up. He's talking about how Punk saw his travel in London somehow ended up getting screwed up by the company. So there was this infamous picture of him on the tube, as it were, in London. That's unfortunate. Like, that's something that, you could legitimately go, how the hell do they, screw up travel for somebody? But then at the same time, You're telling me you needed special travel, you couldn't travel with the boys, but I thought you were there to enrich the... Oh, no, wait. You already had your mind made up that you were above the promotion. I understand. It's not a big deal. I got on the 2 adventure. Okay. That part was fun, but it's completely irresponsible as a company to leave somebody stranded at an airport. Why were you the only person? That's something else that has stuck in my craw for a long time. But regardless, I'm sure we'll never get to the bottom of that, mostly because, it might show that CM Punk was trying to get himself some extra privileges. But that's fine. He's a big star. He's a big star, by the way. I understand the sentiments and the smarties on Twitter. Oh, yes, exactly. There's a reason that he name-checks stupid-ass Jim Cornette. He's got the same fucking mentality. I can't stand either of them. Take an Uber, you big crybaby. I never cried about it, not once. No, definitely, that's not what you're doing right now. No, couldn't possibly be the case. And now addressing, the Jack Perry stuff. This is glass, or this is real glass, Crimea River, all that type of stuff. Okay, so yes, obviously, that was directed at me. Yeah, we know. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. There are always these rumors about NDAs. There's a big difference between not being allowed to talk some shit or not wanting to talk about some shit. I don't necessarily want to litigate this again. Did you to begin with? But, okay, cool. Tony's big idea was a separate show. We're just going to separate everybody. I said, that'll never work. Just let me go. Get me out of here. Pay me money. I've been off TV. Just let me out there. Oh, just let me out of here. That was definitely your sentiments at the time. 100% when he was, trying to give you your own little space over there on Collision. It's not like you were bringing in your own friends to be producers. Just trying to get some people on your side in order to perform on Saturday for your own little show, bifurcate the title with your own real world champion. No. It's not like, everybody has the same level of fucking dementia that you do, where you just can't remember things that happened, less than a year ago? Like, fucking come on, man. We're not all as dumb as your fans. But yes, why can't you just let me go? I don't know, we signed you a contract and we made you another fucking show in order to appease your gigantic ego. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Who cares? It's best. These guys don't want me here. This isn't a real business. This isn't a business predicated on making money, drawing money, selling tickets. You fucking high? Understand that you're legendarily straight edge and that's a big part of your fucking gimmick, but I don't know. Tony Khan trying to appease you, even though that was ultimately a fool's errand, shows that, he understands that you draw a lot of attention. He's obviously trying to make money. He's trying to run this smoothly for all parties involved. Holy shit. Okay, doing business. It's not what was sold to me as let me go. No, I can't let you go. I'm going to do this new show. So now talking about, Jack Perry stuff here. The second day we have this show. I'm sitting in catering, minding my own business. I'm sure. And Tony Schiavone comes and gets me. I really need your help. What? Jack is cussing me out. He cussed out Mike Mansbury. He cussed out Daryl from production. He's cussing the doctor out right now. Why? I was immediately like, dude isn't supposed to be here. Oh, no, he's one of your guys. In fact, he did a promo that said if you have a problem with Jungle Boy, then you have a problem with me. But don't run back any of CM Punk's contradictory words. I mean, that would definitely blow apart the narrative that he's the voice of the voiceless and that he's not just in it for him. Dude isn't supposed to be here. I was told people are getting separated, so they are not problems. But who's at the center of that problem? Anyways, you don't want me involved in this, just like everything I explained before. Y'all need to handle this. Right. If you don't, I'm gonna handle it, and you're not gonna like the way that I handle it. Unfucking believable. Remember, I'm just a good boy who didn't do nothing, but I'm just gonna make this as difficult on everybody else as humanly possible. He's begging me, it drags me out of catering. Hook and Jack are doing an angle, Punk said. Okay, yeah, I don't know anything about Jack going on vacation, right? All I know is there are a litany of people that work 1 day a week and they don't want to. They want to show up, wrestle, and film vignettes and sit at home for 4 weeks. Great. Not my company, do what you want, but not on my show. Oh, okay, cool. Your show, right. Okay, but I thought you didn't want any of that. Anyways, this was my attitude. I says, Tony, you really want me doing this? Yeah, I walked up to Jack. He's sitting in the car. What they wanted to do was smash the window of a rental car with a pipe. And I was like, it's a rental car. I very politely, cap. That's total cap. You don't do anything politely. That's been your stigma forever. ever you've been a prima donna who has never handled anything politely or honestly in your entire career. So stop it. Because I like Jack. Oh no, but he's not supposed to be there, and I want nothing to do with this, but I'm very polite to him, right? After you got, pulled, kicking and screaming to deal with this, so you would have been, on your best behavior, right? Doc has told you no, Daryl has told you no, Mike has told you no, Shivani has told you no. Now, I have to tell you no. Apparently, you've cussed them all out. I'm telling you no. No, we don't do that here. You want to do this, go to Wednesday and do it. Oh, okay. Had no problem. He said, okay, I just thought it was a cool idea. Yeah, I don't believe any of that story at all whatsoever. I said, it might be. This is a rental car, and the boys are all in for it. And if you're going to smash the window of a rental car and return it with no window, now national budget is going to be like, don't rent cars to pro wrestlers anymore. This is a thing that has happened. I mean, that's also something that you would run past the rental car company before you get it, obviously. But okay, cool. I wasn't trying to throw my weight around. Fucking stop it, dude. Stop it. Okay, this is my show, and you have to get out of here. It's just fucking dumb, he continued. He wanted to do it so he didn't have to fly back to Canada. Okay, sorry, man. We're privileged to be in this business and do this for a living. I get it. I didn't want to go to Canada either. Yeah, to be fair, I live here, and I don't want to be here. All the flights were delayed, canceled. Everyone's traveling sucked. Come to this new show when everyone is supposed to be separated to get rid of all the drama, swearing at the doctor. The doctor's like, it's real glass. Shit is gonna go into your eye. Yeah, exactly. And there's a very legendary stunt that ended up going incredibly sideways when it comes to breaking glass on rental cars. Rental limo in the case of WCW with Goldberg that ended up putting him on the shelf because he had a pipe in his arm actually, and he was supposed to be breaking out windows. They were all supposed to be gimmicked except for the one that wasn't, and that it ended up, lacerating his forearm and setting him out for the better part of 2000, which was probably better for Goldberg in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, no, there's a very legendary don't do gimmicks with real glass incident. So yeah, unless you're going to go ahead and work a rental car, which kind of seems like a lot of effort just to write you off of television because you're going to be taking a vacation very soon. Probably other ways that you can go about this, but okay, if you have your mind set on that, fucking figure it out, I guess. Yeah, going back to what everybody else was saying, and then how the coolest head in the room, CM Punk, was going to try to mediate the issue. Okay, the doctor was like, it's real glass. Shit is going to go into your eye. I get it. I used to be a kid who was young and wanted to do this. There's a safe way to do this. I politely explained that to him. Why is it when we're reading this transcript? Okay. Punk is describing what everybody else is saying, but when he comes into the situation, when he's telling it from a first-person perspective, he's got the, I politely said this, I kindly said this. Why does he have to add caveats and additional context to his own speech? I wonder. I'm just trying to piece some stuff together here. I politely explained to him. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cuss at him. I was just like, we don't do that here. This is Saturday. If you want to do this stuff, do it on Wednesday. It's totally fine over there. That was it. I didn't think it was going to be a problem. He obviously took something very business-minded, very personally. That's fine. I've done that before too. See, guys, we've all just had little issues before. I'm not above this. It's very much who he is friends with, and shit never got squashed. Nobody is in charge. It turned into what it turned into. I just don't know what the impetus, because, okay, this is all centered around All In, which happened last summer, okay? September, oh no, it was right before Labor Day. So I guess, yeah, that would have been the end of August last year. But all of this stuff really kicked off in the end of 2022. I guess it would have been Labor Day 2022. Dates are getting mixed up. My mistake, where you had Brawl Out, where you had, the aftermath of, Punk fighting with biting Kenny Omega, or was that Ace Steel who bit Kenny Omega, and fighting with the Young Bucks. I just want to know, how did Punk end up getting into an altercation? Because we've never got clarification on that, because prior to that little interaction, nobody's really, outside of stupid ass, Jim, I like to work real life angles Cornette in order to give myself material for my shitty podcast that gets overly pumped out to everybody on YouTube. I mean, the fucking fraud came forward and told the Young Bucks, we've got the only real life angle that's working out right now, and then the Bucks just told him to go, get bent. We don't want anything to do with you, and he's continued on and perpetuated all of this hatred for AEW, saying that, oh, it's just a t-shirt company. And then when it started to take off, oh, there's no leadership there, Tony Khan's not a real leader, and all of the idiots that flocked to that channel just continued to parrot that point. Oh, there's no leadership over there. What do you have to point to? A disgruntled old fuck who just always gets bounced out of every company that he's ever been a part of, who's always been nothing but a problem everywhere that he's ever gone? Gee, I wonder the validity of that statement. But anyways, back to what Punk is saying or spewing on this podcast here, speaking of other podcasts, but in regards to, Jack Perry I think it was on the 0 Hour, so the pre-show of All In, goes out, works his match with Hook, got a rental car there, they go through the windshield, so obviously they would have figured out something with the rental car company. Big surprise on that one. And then he looked at the camera and said, this is real glass, Crimea River, whatever he said right there, but it really got underneath Punk's skin, even though you are the world champion at the time. And that was an internet niche thing that I thought you were so above the rest of this company and that you were just looking for your way out at that point in time. I don't know why that should have bothered you, but it did, because he ended up going up to Tony Khan. Okay, I went to Tony Khan. I was like, please handle that, please. I'm sure that's the way that you did that. And you didn't go, you talk to that motherfucker over there, okay? Fucking figure it out. He's like, what do you want me to do? I'm not telling you what to do. Just be the boss. Please, I'm tired of this shit. I told you it was a mistake. I told you separate shows wasn't going to work, and now we're all here. Please handle it. If you don't, you're not going to like the way I handled it. So, okay, you're trying to say that there's no leadership over there. Okay. But then you relay a story like that, and it's almost like Tony Khan just took a look at what was on the screen, and it's like, probably the way that I'd handle it would be just like, okay, cool, we don't take shots at coworkers. Okay, I thought this was squashed. Don't do that again. But because Punk didn't end up getting his way, he ended up spurging out. Wow, color me surprised. Jack came back from his match. I'm the next match. I'm sitting there. I got people with me. All of this has been corroborated by outside sources, but then it also says that they ended up relaying the story that you were the one who flew into a rage. But okay, let's see your side of the story. Okay, because there's always 3 sides to every story. Yours, mine, and the truth. So let's figure out which one this is. Okay, so I'm the next match. Yes, he ended up opening up the show. I do remember. I'm the next match. I'm sitting there. I got people with me. I'm not going to say who was there because I have a lot of friends who work there. I got a lot of friends. And I wish them all well, and I don't want them to be punished because they're friends with me. Oh, shut the fuck up. I walk up to him and I'm like, Jack, why did you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV? Holy fuck. And you think that, spurging out on a podcast on the, let me check again, the internet is somehow going to be better for everybody? Good stuff. Anyways, he's like, you have a problem? Do you do something about it? I was like, come on, man, I can fucking kill you. Oh my god, why would you get so violent? That's crazy. What are we doing? It's like Chael Sonnen says, sorry, what? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I can't let you get close. Okay. Too close, man. You're too close. I thought I was doing the responsible thing. I didn't punch anybody. I just choked somebody a little bit. Holy fuck. Are you serious? Okay. I did the responsible thing. I didn't punch him. I just tried to choke. Like, yeah, that's stupid. Holy shit, man. People actually take this asshole seriously, huh? Weird. Samoa Joe was there, told me to stop. I quit. No, that's not what Samoa Joe. That's not what a bunch of other people. That's not what DJ Who Kid had to say about that. But all right. I turned to Tony and I said, this place is a fucking joke. You're a clown. I quit. I went to my room. Now, see, that actually sounds like CM Punk. He just throws a big old strop after he escalated the situation, not wanting to take any responsibility for it. You need to handle that. You're a clown. I quit. Meanwhile, his shoes are the ones that are squeaking as he walks to his fucking dressing room. Joe and Jerry Lynn came and got me, and they were like, let's go out there and kill it. I was too fired up. I'm fired up now. I'm probably going to regret talking all this shit, but that's what happens. Oh, but I thought you're like very polite and very, calm and cool and collected whenever you do all this type of stuff, right? That match, I'm like, this is the last time I'm ever going to wrestle Samoa Joe. And Joe was also thinking that in the back of his mind, but then also doing this at the same time. Yes, this is my last match in the company. Jumping ahead a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to get into conspiracy Punk. Okay. There was a concerted effort to slander me and ruin my character. Okay, that's kind of been the genesis of all this drama. Don't do that. What are you fucking talking about? Why are you doing that to a guy who works for your company? Why are you lying? Why are you spreading rumors, lies, and bullshit about your top guy? Okay, cool. Everybody's out to get me. Can you point? Is the person out to get you in this room right now? It doesn't make any sense. I agree. You're only hurting yourself. Jealousy, envy, I don't know. It's an unfortunate situation. I have a lot of friends there. We get it. You think you have a lot of friends there. There are a lot of good people who work there. I hope they continue to get paid. I wish them well. I just want to see the company burnt because, I ended up being held accountable for my stupid actions. So overall, when he was asked about how it is to work for Tony Khan, Punk said that Tony is a nice guy, but he doesn't feel like Tony was enough of a boss. Right, because he didn't do exactly what he wanted him to. He was trying to do what was best for the company. Right. Okay. It's a loaded question. I don't like the drama. Holy shit. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with it anymore. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't like the drama. Holy shit. But the truth is the truth. He's not a boss. He's a nice guy ultimately. That is a detriment to the company, but it's not my company. We know you never want to take responsibility for anything that you do. It's always everybody else's fault. It's not my company. I'm just here for myself. I love working for a company that I legendarily threw under the bus in another podcast. Why does all this shit always play out on the internet that he doesn't want to lend any validity or legitimacy to? Weird how that stuff happens. I'm an outsider. Right. I thought I was brought in to sell merchandise and tickets and draw numbers for pay-per-views, which you did until you took a shit on your legacy after you won the belt and decided to start picking fights with everybody else in the room. I clearly did that, but that's not what the place is about, and some people didn't like that. Fantastic. Have fun working commentary this weekend, and I don't know, maybe eventually you're getting healthy enough so that at 45 years old you can win another world title and then end up having to drop it because, I don't know, you fell down the stairs or something like that, you crispy old bastard. But somebody else who made the transition, who didn't get fired, by the way, from AEW over to, the Fed, got a top spot. I'm not all that interested in the product. I don't really think he's going to be that good of a babyface champion when he eventually does win. I think everybody's going to turn on him, kind of like what happened at the end of his AEW run, which could have been really cool if he was doing this kind of misunderstood hero and then eventually backdoor his way into getting the belt. Like, there could have been a lot of really cool things that happened there, but no, man, the whole boring, I'm Dusty Rhodes' son. Every promo needs to have a Dusty Rhodes reference, and everybody likes going, whoa, to my song, which is just fucking butt rock from the mid-2000s. But anyways, Cody Rhodes says he disagrees with CM Punk's assessment of Tony Khan and AEW on the same podcast where CM Punk took a shit on AEW. But I don't know how much of this is in character. I don't know how much of this is just Cody being a politician, because he also said the first time that he figured out that he wasn't going to be winning the strap at WrestleMania 39 last year was when he was in the ring and Roman hit the spear and then they counted the 1, 2, 3. Like, come on, man. Cody Rhodes doesn't agree with CM Punk's recent assessment of Tony Khan and AEW. Punk appeared at the MMA Hour on Monday and stated, that the AEW president is not a real boss and that AEW is not a real business. However, when Rhodes was asked about Punk's comments during Wednesday's episode of the MMA Hour, he responded that he doesn't agree with them. That's his assessment. It's not my assessment. It's always been important for me to remind people that I'm so proud of what me, Matt, Nick, Kenny, Tony, Bernie, Brandy, Dana, not Dana. Dana's great. Brandy is probably a big reason that Cody never got over. I mean, you go take a look at those early episodes of, Dynamite when everybody was loving the show universally. Were always the worst rated segments. Anyways, and I name all these people because, I was in those meetings. Yes, exactly. You were an EVP after all. As much as the internet will spin a narrative one way, I was one of the people had not been, if one of those people had not been at the startup level, the company would not have happened. Very much so. Like, it really was one of those once-in-a-lifetime events where you have such high-profile workers all have their contracts go up at the same time, somebody looking at getting into the business, there being a talent pool, there being a drop in interest in the business, a desire for a legitimate alternative being out there, and lo and behold, the little t-shirt company is still here just about 5 years later. It'll be 5 years this summer, right? That's crazy to think about. So anyways, Cody saying, it's not my assessment. In my time there, the infrastructure was just being built up. Now, you were there for a long time. Come on now. We were trying new things. We were doing things. It was a startup company, a big-time startup company, but a startup company, and I wish them nothing but the best. Talking about Punk specifically, I just think what happened there was a ton of misunderstanding, a ton of miscommunication. I love Matt, Nick, and Kenny, and I also love Punk. I don't know how, but I do. I'm just happy for everyone involved. I just think that the ship's in the night and it wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. Him just trying to be the top guy, politician, non-controversial. But then you have AEW's response to things. I don't really know how much this is coming from the top and more so a legend in the game coming through, seeing his fair share and being a part of a fair share of his drama throughout his career. And here you have the former Edge, now Adam Copeland, over in AEW, who's doing a bunch of really fun things, for as far as I can tell. And he came out on this past Wednesday's Dynamite for a promo. And of course, yeah, it's a promo. But of course, he kind of addressed the controversy that's going on over the top, and I just want to play a bit of it, mostly because AEW will strike down a video in a moment, and this video is going on longer than I anticipated, but there's a lot to say. I really do love professional wrestling. I hate the two big companies that are at the top right now. I think one is doing spectacular in-ring work. There's a bunch of superficial drama over the top of it that makes it untenable as a fan to fully support. And then on the other side, I just don't like what the Fed is doing at all whatsoever. But I really like wrestling. That's what Adam's trying to get across right here. So I just want to play a little bit of it. I'll link out to the clip if you want to watch it in totality. But I think about the first 20 seconds is what's really important. And I'll have to stop every once in a while. Otherwise, strikes and shit.
But listen, there's been a lot of negative BS that has been spewed this week, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And this made it far and wide. Like, I'm kind of late hopping on this, mostly because the first time that I heard, the CM Punk stuff, I was kind of furious because it's like, oh, okay, cool. Punk's out there doing what he's doing. And then the internet echo chamber, the internet wrestling community is just going to take it as gospel because there's this big anti-AEW sentiment that's out there. But anyways.
There has. Screw that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it was against AEW, and we just need to go ahead and be, cheerleaders for it. But, hey, it's a little bit more than that. There's a little bit more than that.
I want to talk about positives.
Positive.
And if you're a fan of pro wrestling, man, it is a great time to be a fan of pro wrestling.
It is. It really should be. It's just not. I don't know, man. Maybe we're seeing the tail end of this business, and we're starting to see it kind of go the way of the circus. But really going to have to see post WrestleMania the way that those viewership numbers just completely tank. Like, okay, cool. You can take a look. You can go and point and say, oh no, but everything's doing better because Raw's going to be moving to Netflix. It's like, okay, cool. So they don't have to report their weekly viewership. And oh, by the way, there's going to be a 2-month spell at the end of the year where Raw doesn't have a home. If it's doing so well on the USA Network, why don't they want to have a temporary extension for those 2 months in order to get that viewership rating? And why doesn't Netflix want to start their deal 2 months prior to pick up a really red hot product? It just riddle me that one if things are going so great. But anyways,
there's a whole lot of positives right now. If you're sitting here, if you're watching at home,
hi, we're watching a clip right now and reacting to it, actually.
Hell, if you can feel compelled to go on social media, even if it's just to complain about pro wrestling.
Oh my God, some people do that and then they make a business out of it.
You're a fan of pro wrestling. I am a fan of pro wrestling. I grew up, I watched WWF.
Yeah.
No, that's not a reason to boo, man. You're missing the point on this.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, me too. Okay. And then there's a legendary story about Edge, and, well, I think Edge might have been just by himself, or Christian was also there, where they were in, the stadium for WrestleMania 6. They seen Warrior go over Hogan, and that ended up cementing the rest of his life, and, well, the rest is history. But without playing the rest of the clip and risking anything further, Copeland delivers a responds to negative BS in AEW speech. Again, don't know how much of this is a work, how much of this actually comes from Adam, or how much of this has actually been pushed from the backstage, but I don't really know. We could go 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. His promo, Copeland said that he watched the likes of the Fed, NWA, Stampede Wrestling growing up because he loved all of pro wrestling. He said they realized AEW is where he needed to end his career because he saw a murderer's row of talent. He dropped names like Will Ospreay, Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, FTR, and others, saying that they would be the first-time matches. He said that this is the most fun he's had in his 32 years of pro wrestling. He concluded by saying he also celebrates the names of those who started AEW, including the Young Bucks, Omega, Cody Rhodes, and Tony Khan. AEW has pushed the industry into a better place. AEW has pushed everyone into a better place. It's given more people a chance to do what they love for a living, and it should be celebrated. AEW makes pro wrestling better, more fun, and AEW is where the best wrestle. Which, yeah, you take a look at that roster, like you got Will Ospreay, you got Kenny Omega, you got Kazuchika Okada. Even at, pushing 9,000 years old, you got Edge doing some really cool stuff, like up and down the roster. It's a fantastic product, and I just wish the entire industry would get their fucking shit together so that I could go ahead and celebrate it with everybody else. But until they fucking figure it out, I wish them nothing but the best. But I'm going to be watching from far, far, far away whenever anything controversially pops up or whenever some miserable old bastard decides to be a spastic curmudgeon catches my ire. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.